Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new piercing reaction video. Okay, so today we're going to be doing some more of your own personal piercing horror stories. Got a bit tongue-tied. Your personal horror stories. So I had the previous video here, and I'm going to be reading through the comment section and reading some of your own horror stories out. So as always, if you have posted a story and it hasn't made it into one of these videos yet, you're more than welcome to repost a story on this video, and maybe in the next one, you will get your little audio read out. So anyway, comment stories down below, like button, all that good kind of stuff, subscribe, all the fabulous things. But I think it's time to get on board the trigger train. Choo-choo, and let's read out some of your stories. The scariest piercing I ever witnessed. Prepare for some gore. That's what we like to hear on this channel. So we were in middle school at Mexico, and I remember this guy who wanted to be the bad guy. So one day, all the guys gathered around him. I was just passing when I noticed everyone was in the art rooms, which had all kinds of tools in there. Oh, for God's sake, you've got to say he put like a compass through his ear or something. I witnessed how stupidity can take the best of dumb people. This 14-year-old was about to pierce his ear with the help of a friend with a freaking nail and hammer. What? Oh, for God's sake. Well, I mean, I've reacted to a video of a guy hammering his nail into a board. Maybe it was them. That's disgusting. At first, I thought to myself, he's not going to do it, and I just kept watching. When it happened, it actually pierced his ear with a hammer and nail. He got stuck to the table. Oh, for God's sake, got stuck to the table. I don't know how he thought this would work. They called the ambulance since blood was going everywhere, and after a few minutes, he fainted, and we all had to hold him so we wouldn't rip his own ear. Again, like, I did stupid things when I was a teenager, and I get some of this probably was like, let's be cool for my friends, let's sort of be, you know. I don't remember ever having these thoughts when I was younger of like stupidity like this. Like, why would you hammer your ear to a table with a nail? Like this is, I don't know how old you are now, and I don't know if this was like back then, but like this reminds me of like the Jackass generation. Like when we were teenagers is when like early teenagers, like Jackass was like a massive thing. So all the kids in my school would stupidly hurt themselves, like jump over bridges and walls and stuff, and would hurt themselves all the time because they'd mimic this kind of stuff. But me, I would never do anything like this. Idiots, idiots, idiots. Natural selection at its finest. Horror story. When I was 12, I got my helix pierced by a professional. Now that's not something that we would normally hear on this channel. Professional piercings, no, it doesn't really happen. So got it pierced by a professional 1 month before soccer season started. I'm not allowed to play with my earrings in, so I was forced to take out my helix 1 month, okay, so just before I carry on with the story, I have to say, like, if you have to get piercings when you know things aren't gonna happen, or when things, like, if you're in a situation like this, just don't get them done, and unfortunately, you're just gonna have to deal with that because, like, you can't just keep taking it in and out because it's gonna get infected, it's gonna get gross. I remember when I worked in Morrison's, I used to have to take out a couple of my piercings back when I lived in Devon, and I was forcing kind of ones back in after I shouldn't have, like, doing it, and it just caused me so much stress. So I was forced to take out my piercing 1 month after I got it pierced. Now, here's where the horror story starts. Before every game, I took the ring out. It was pierced with a ring. This is even you shouldn't get piercings with rings. I had to take the ring out, and it was so painful. One game about 2 months after I got the piercing, my teammate came behind me, tried to scare me by jumping on my back. She decided to do so while I was taking my ring out, and when she jumped, I ripped the piercing out of my ear. Oh my God. I had thought I tore my ear, but luckily I didn't. It continued to gush blood for about 40 minutes, and I even got sent off the soccer field because the blood had gushed down my neck. That's absolutely disgusting. And the ref thought I was injured. I mean, technically you were injured, just not by what he probably thought you were injured for. Please, please, guys, please, 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 if you're gonna get piercings, please make sure that you do it around times where you're gonna have a long time for it to heal. Like, it's just not a good idea to take piercings. When piercings are not healed, if you're taking in and out, you're having to basically reopen the hole because it seizes up and closes really quickly when it's not healed properly, and it literally just do not do it. It's not a good idea. I do love the fact that you got sent off the field though because the referee thought you were injured by something. Please read me. Okay, health history, calm down, girl. In total, I've had 26 piercings and still currently have 22. My ex had his septum pierced, and at the time, I only had one nostril ring. Oh no, I already know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say your ring got caught in his septum and it ripped. Oh, choo-choo. He was lying on the bed. I leaned over to kiss him, and as I took my head away from his, I realized too late that his piercing had hooked onto my nose ring. Way too much blood and small chunk of flesh later. I put a spare ring to stop the hole from healing over. I'm a wuss and had vowed to never get my nose done again. This is a lot, girl. Age 15, I took the ball off the ring of my belly button piercing and couldn't get it back on. I went to bed minus the ball. Woke up to find the ring had moved in my sleep. It had half come out and the bottom half of the hole had already seemingly closed over. I was worried what my mum would say, as I had really begged her to have it done. So I went upstairs, locked myself in the bathroom and forced the blunt ring all the way back through. Almost passed out. Needless to say, it never did heal properly. I removed it 2 years later. Guys, that I've had similar things. So sometimes my earrings will come out in this, if I have like a naughty dream or like excitingly happens, or I don't know, have a horror, something. Sometimes you wake up and a ball has come off and your earrings come out. Now it's not too bad like when your piercings are healed, because mine can stay open for a while. Naughty dream. What? Why did I say that? It has happened a couple times before when like a piercing hasn't healed and it has come out in my sleep, and in the morning you had to kind of like reopen the hole. Literally, no thank you. No ma'am, it's not okay, but that does actually happen. I love the fact that like you had to do it because you're scared that your mum would tell you off. Because you wanted it so badly. That's hilarious. But the thing is, when things like that happen on surface piercings, like eyebrow piercings, belly button piercings, anything that's like a surface piercing, if you do cause it a stress like that, it will up your kind of chance of it rejecting. You were lucky you had it for another 2 years, to be honest. I was 13 and went to get my eyebrow piercing, obviously with my parents' consent. I got it done, and when I went home, I went to sleep, but my dog had jumped up on my bed and I rolled over. No, please don't tell me your dog bit it off your eyebrow. I swear to God, I will actually. My piercing caught on the pillow and I didn't know. I woke up with blood on the left side of my face. I tried to get up and yanked it, and oh my God, no. Ugh. I tried to get it up and yanked on my pillow. I got it off the pillow and managed to go to the bathroom. I cleaned it up a bit and it ended up getting an infection and rejecting. But the bar was pulled down in my eyebrow, so the top... Wait, what? So you got an infection, but the ball actually was embedded in your eyebrow still. I had to get it surgically removed. How did your ball get embedded in your eyebrow? Because you said you've cleaned it up, but it ended up getting infected and rejecting. But that would have happened like ages after. Like you don't just hit it and they get infected instantly. Like that takes a while. So did you have it like embedded in your eyebrow for a while before? I need answers. Why did you keep it in your eyebrow embedded for a while if I don't understand what just happened? I had my Monroe for years and decided to let it embed itself in my mouth. What? You decided to... Okay. I had a Monroe piercing for years and decided to let it embed itself in my mouth. I thought I was being clever and avoiding gum damage by doing this. Still took a toll on my gums because of the placement. I was young and naive, okay? I actually do kind of the same thing with my lip piercing here. If you've followed me for a while, you'll know that my labret piercing, I left the bar in that was way too long for a long time, and it started to like erode the gum here, so I don't actually wear it in, like hardly ever. But with my spider bite here, the second one here, which is just this, it's just like a normal barbell, the bar's really, really short, so the inside of my lip does kind of go over the back of it a little bit, and it doesn't rub against my teeth at all. So I'm lucky, nothing terrible's happened, but I'm assuming that was kind of where you were going, like what you were trying to get at. I hadn't had a real problem with it for years. Yeah, sure, I'd get the odd infection, but it would sort itself out within a few days. Until just recently, it got really, really infected. There was so much swelling, blood, pus oozing from my beloved Monroe. Nothing I did was helping. I cleaned it, drained it as much of the infection as I could, and it kept coming back angrier and more sore than ever. It all came to a head this past Friday night. The pain was so severe I couldn't sleep. Went to hospital to have it removed. My face had never been so swollen and sore ever. My face literally looked like a crime scene. Sometimes if you've got infections, you need like to take antibiotics, and that's probably why maybe it wasn't going. You actually had like a real infection. Because it's kind of like people sort of say infections when a lot of times it's not. When your piercing just a little bit swollen, like it's not always infected. It can just be just for how your body's reacting. Because a lot of piercings do swell after you get them done, or if they're irritated, they do swell, but it's not necessarily an infection. But if it's like oozing pus and blood and loads of stuff, you probably have like an actual infection where you need to take like antibiotics a lot of the time to get rid of it. Last year I started to gauge my ears and it went well. However, I tried to stretch from a 2 gauge to a 0 gauge, and finally after about 30 minutes I got it through, and it hurt for about an hour, and I decided to put the tunnels in. The taper wouldn't come out and I yanked it out and it started to gush blood. I dabbed the blood off and cleaned it, and it had ripped my ear. It's been a year since and I'm still scared to stretch my ears any further. I'm still at a 2 gauge. When I stretched my ear originally, like this is years ago, I can't remember what size it was, I have done that before, I did go a little bit too fast and it really scared me to go even further. I just was doing it too quickly and wasn't really paying attention. But now I use like a taping method where you use like a little bit of surgical, I can't remember what it was called, it's like funny little tape that you wrapped around your plug, and you put like an extra loop like every few days, and it stretches it like so slowly. It takes a bit longer than doing a taper, but for me, that's my method, how I like to do it. So when I was 13, I decided I wanted to get snake bikes, and thinking back on it, honestly, it was a kind of dumb decision. The fact of how young I was when I got them, and being the first piercings as well, was total crazy. I always say to people, like, if you're gonna get piercings, at least facial ones, wait until you're like, I always say 18, but I know people over 16, people 16-year-olds are probably going to do it. But like for me personally, I would always say 18. You gotta remember, if you're gonna get piercings on your face, that is gonna scar you for life. And chances are, what you like when you're 13, you're not gonna like when you're 20, you know, I'm 29. So like, you're not gonna like it when you're like older. I always say, if you're gonna get piercings when you're young, go on your ears or something, because at least then, if it does scar and you change your mind, they're kind of here and you can't really see them as much. But if you get stuff here, like that's for life. Like that's gonna scar you for life. So just be very, very careful. Well, anyways, I ended up going through with it and got them, but then they were extremely crooked, and not even a week later, the ball of the hoop was falling off. You got them with hoops. Oh no, like again, don't get piercings done with hoops, guys. It's not a good idea. Getting piercings done with hoops is not a good idea. It's harder to heal. It puts pressure on the area, especially when it's trying to heal. They move back and forward a lot more than what a stud would. So please, guys, if you're gonna get piercings, get them done with like a barbell. We even had to pay 95 bucks for it. That's expensive, which I thought was ridiculous with the amount of problems I got with it. Though thankfully, I guess bucks and pounds are different. So I don't know how much that would be in pounds. That's not actually that much money. Scratch what I just said. Though thankfully, they never got infected or anything. They're just extremely off-centered. And I don't mean like kind of off, like super noticeably off. There is no way that if my piercings were really crooked that I'd be able to cope with it. Like my nose ones are kind of ever so slightly off, but like not really that noticeable. But if like you have one here and they're big hoops and one sort of like here and here and it's like that, no, that would come out. I mean, I don't know how old you are now, did you say? No, you didn't say how old you are now. Like maybe as you grew and stuff, your facial structure changed. It could have made it look even more off. This just recently happened. So I was playing with my 9-year-old puppy. Oh, for God's sake. Keep your piercings away from animals. She really likes to bite my face. She really likes to bite my face. I mean, it keeps getting better. This is not a no. So I was playing my puppy and she likes to bite my face, but she's really good at not biting my nose. But for some reason, she wanted to bite my nose and her tooth got caught on my nose ring and she got scared and almost completely ripped my nose ring out my nose. No, do you know what? I'm not even, no, I don't feel sorry for you. You know, this is a stupid thing. You should have kept your face away from me. No piercings near animals. No, stop. I've had both my nipples done at the same time about 3 months ago. Never had problems with them and they looked great. 3 days ago, me and some friends decided to go drinking, and when I got home, it was about 6 AM, and I woke up just about 3 hours later, still drunk. We decided to go horseback riding. As you do, drunk. We decided to go horseback riding before the hangovers kicked in. We saddled up and decided to give my horse a hug before getting on. She shook her head and my nipple piercing got stuck in her bridle. It ripped a little, luckily not enough to be really noticeable, and I'm hoping it heals soon. No, ooh, good luck with that. I have to say, like when I ripped my ripped my left nipple, it took a long time to heal. Good luck with that. Like, if I go to sleep when I'm drunk and wake up and I'm still drunk, I'm all spinny, everything's going a bit crazy. Like, once I go to sleep and I've been drunk, I can't wake up and then go and do things like straight after if I'm still drunk. No, like, I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? I just need greasy food. The last thing I'm thinking about is going on a horse riding. But no. Guys, can I just say, this whole event today has been incredibly annoying and triggering. My camera's turned itself off once now already, so I had to redo some filming stuff. My left GoPro, for some weird reason, keeps giving me an error message on my memory card. So like, I've had to start and stop that like 4 times now. I don't know what's going on. My microphone died halfway through the first bits and I had to reread a story. Like, everything has been going, I don't know what it is. So if this video doesn't get at least 100K views, I'll be very, very disappointed because it's been stressful AF. Throw on that as well, because I can't read very well, when I do read, it stresses my body out quite a lot. So like, these videos take a lot out of me, and it's everything on top of each other, which is just like stress mania. Cortisol is like really pumping through my body. If I hadn't lost my hair already from stress, it would have just fallen out. Anyway. Like button, guys, really helps me out. Social media links down below. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, yeah, it's down below. Come follow me, we'll have a chat. Again, make sure you do post all your comments and your stories and things in this section here, and then I might read them out on my next one. Again, I get hundreds each time, so please don't worry if I don't do yours, just repost it, and eventually I'll get round to yours. Anyway, guys, be fast, amazing, me gay, be everything you want to be, and there's only a bitch of this you can't be you because you're what? Flawless.